Hi, I'm Krstafer Pinkerton. I want to thank you personally for joining us. Our Facebook group is rapidly approaching 200 members, and every one of you definitely matters. You didn't just join a page, you joined a movement of truth seekers, investigators, survivors, and warriors who refuse to stay silent while Florida's laws are being weaponized against its own people. Thank you for standing with us. We're just getting started. The Florida bill that burned the Constitution. How House Bill 913 and its hidden authors engineered the largest legislative racketeering scheme in Florida's history. I'm a legal strategist, investigative analyst, and a regional coordinator with the Center for State Administration Reform, CEAR. I lead a volunteer-driven operation known as the Florida COA/HOA Posse, Regulators of the People. We specialize in untangling complex systems of concealed property theft, fraud, statutory manipulation, and government-enabled abuse, especially when those systems target the elderly, the disabled, or the voiceless. Our team operates at the intersection of law, forensic investigation, public policy, and human rights. We read what others ignore. We see what others fear to see. And when the institutions refuse to protect the people, we step in. What began as a mission to help a few residents assert their rights turned into a full-scale investigation of legislative racketeering at the highest levels. House Bill 913 was the gateway, but what we found behind it was an entire network of laws rewritten by those under investigation, regulators silenced, rights revoked, and a paper trail of corruption so vast that it took multiple amendments coordinated across House and Senate just to contain the liability. And that's what this report is about. It's not just about the bill. It's about the machine behind it, the motives that shaped it, the donors who pushed it, the lawyers who ghost wrote it, and the homeowners who lost everything because of it. This isn't just an exposé. It's a reckoning. And it started with a file folder in a simple emergency receivership motion. Now it's a federal case in the making. What was the plan? The ultimate goal of House Bill 913 was to legalize HOA loan and assessment authority without owner votes, shield attorneys and board members from personal liability, preempt and suppress legal action against unlawful takings, retroactively immunize ongoing enterprise activity, codify RICO predicate conduct under state protection, but this requires synchronization between the House, the Senate, the DPPR, and lobbyist attorneys, notably from CAI, COMC, and law firms such as Ribin, Parker, Gurley, and Becker. They waited for one thing: Surfside fatigue, a delay in federal scrutiny, and legislative pressure, so they could strike. Let's look at the timeline. Who did what, when, and why? December 2024, January to 2025, pre-legislation coordination drafting teams involving Representative Vicky Lopez, CII legislative advisors, and COMC attorneys began circulating language to override declarations and bylaws, enable boards to take loans or issue assessments without owner votes, weaken recall rights, silence owner challenges via public policy overrides, clauses. Think about that. Why? Because Point Brittany, New Atlantis Club, and others were facing legal blowback over unvoted loans and assessments. They needed retroactive legislative cover. February 2025. The skeleton of House Bill 913 and Senate Bill 1742 appeared. House Bill 913 is first filed in the House. Senate Bill 742, the twin Senate bill, is intentionally held back to allow the House to absorb early public scrutiny. Why? This allowed Senate leaders Al Britton Bradley to gauge blowback from the House and adjust their strike-all strategy in private before launching the final version. March 10, 2025, Lopez's subcommittee, amendments filed. Amendment 1, record access buffer, requires digital posting of 7 years of minutes, but adds language to protect boards from legal consequences if they fail to do so. Amendment 2, emergency reserve loophole, lets boards pause contributions to reserves during a declared emergency. No owner vote required. Amendment 3, retroactivity blockade, ensures that once a case is fully adjudicated, no new rights can be claimed under House Bill 913, blocking ongoing lawsuits. Why? These amendments were surgical, engineers to fix current enterprise weaknesses. Boards were being sued for denial of access and illegal assessments. These amendments erased those liabilities. Between March and April of 2025, strategic Senate silent Senate Bill 1742 remained in committee limbo. During this time, Senator Jennifer Bradley and allies gathered legal memos from CAI, COMC, and lobbying firms, analyzing Surfside-related insurance and reserve pressures. Who helped all this? Well, of course, it's the attorneys. Bradley's legal staff, Senate President Al Britton, Housing and Judiciary Committee's analyst, external counsel from reserve study vendors, and HOA law firms. Would that be RPG? Yeah, it would be. Why did they wait? To give the House time to absorb resistance, pass the controversial provisions, and build public justification around Surfside compliance. April 14, 2025. Great day. That was my birthday. They strike it all amendment. It's filed. Vicky Lopez replaces the entire bill, removing prior owner protections and inserting clauses that allow boards to unilaterally take out loans and liens, allow loan details to be concealed from owners, override declarations via public policy clause, prevent judicial review of board actions. This is the criminal pivot point. It is now impossible to view HB 913 as mere policy. This is a cover-up codified into law. April 14 to the 29th, 2025. The Senate prepares final coordinated amendments. Bradley introduces Amendment 120290 and inserts reserve loan authority, a milestone delay, clauses, and multi-year pausing of reserve contributions. Amendment 223950 and 419638 are filed within minutes of each other, redefining building height to exclude mid-rise condos from reserve mandates. Delay milestones, inspections, and funding deadlines. Who helped all this through? Senate counsel, lobbyists from COMC, Becker and Dunbar Law, insurance-linked PACs. Why now? Because the bill had to pass before May 1st to preempt Surfside criminal trial momentum and block any federal intervention. April 30th, 2025, House Bill 913 passes both chambers. House vote final, 112 yeas, 0 nays. Only Representative Michael and Caruso had voted no earlier and later abstained. Senate vote, 37 yeas, 0 nay. Senator Sharif did not vote. The deal was sealed. The enterprise was protected. So, who did they wait for? Well, they waited for Senate Jennifer Bradley to introduce the final reserve amendments, aligning with COMC, CAI lobbying strategy. They waited for the Surfside fatigue window, a time when public attention wound off. They waited for campaign checks. Multiple legislators received donations from CEOMC, affiliated PACs, between March and April. I've got the ledgers. They waited for the legal cover letters authored by attorney liaisons, affirming the legality of board-only loan approvals. What was the real plan? Pass immunity, block litigation, enshrine enterprise control, retroactively launder RICO predicate conduct through a new statute. Use Surfside tragedy as moral cover for a cash grab statute written by lawyers, for lawyers. Seize full financial authority from owners and place it in hands of boards advised by enterprise attorneys. silenced dissent by rewriting recall laws, and blocking judicial review. So who did what, when, and why? Well, Vicky Lopez introduced the bill and built its escape hatches. Jennifer Bradley synchronized the Senate. Al Britton managed the Senate calendar. He managed the delay. CAI and COMC lawyers ghostwrote major provisions. Reserve study vendors and insurance packs helped craft milestones and waivers. Lobbying firms helped frame it as a surfside safety measure. Together, they executed the most sophisticated act of legislative racketeering in Florida's modern history. Well, thanks for staying with me this far. That concludes my report on these particular House and Senate bills and how they've been used not to protect the people, but to strip you of your rights, one statute at a time. But I'll be honest with you, the more I dig, the more I find, and the deeper I go, the worse it gets. Because it's not just about the bills, it's about the people behind them. People with licenses to investigate fraud, with degrees from elite institutions and pedigrees polished in military courts as JAG attorneys. These aren't amateurs. They know exactly what they're doing. It's no wonder the American people are disillusioned. When someone like Senator Rick Scott, a man entangled in one of the largest Medicare fraud scandals in U.S. history, can become Florida's governor, and then, after laying the groundwork and foundation for legislative racketeering, hand the reins over to DeSantis, it's hard not to feel like the game has been rigged from the beginning, right from the start. It also makes you wonder how much of that $300 million in Texas healthcare stock found its way into Florida's political war chest. How many executive orders? How many judicial appointments? How many concealed contracts that are linked to that legacy? The Federalist Papers warned us about this. They warned us of factions, of legislative overreach, of collusion cloaked in legality. They warned us that tyranny rarely comes all at once. It comes in legal increments, passed unanimously, and done with applause. The Republic was built by people who refused to look the other way. Now it's our turn. Let's take it back. Enjoy the day you deserve.